Morning, everyone. This is Lethal Sales. Welcome to everybody on the Erev, the night before Valentine's Day, when you will be spending your evening with your loved ones. Today, we're talking about our passions that are things or activities, not humans. So take it away, Larry.
Okay. Uh, I thought about this on the way home today, and I think I'm going to talk about two different loves that I have. The first love, and this is going to sound a little trite, so forgive me, is I love being alive. Man, I got to interview a bunch of people the last 3, 4, 5 weeks and torture them in class and have fun with them and get them jobs. And it just made me feel really good. And my band's getting ready to play a show and working on some new songs that are going into movies. I can't tell you how good that makes me feel. And this is gonna. It's a shame Paul Meyer isn't on because I had really good pizza. Mike, this pizza is so good. I took Paul Meyer, who's the world's biggest foodie, and even he had admitted it was good pizza. So I mean, like I'm
It
breathing and I'm
wasn't from
having fun.
Connecticut, was it?
No, it was from Pennsylvania. You ever get out this way, I'll take it. I'm just glad to be alive, but I think we'll all agree that there's nothing better than a new passion, right? That when you think you're the first time you're in love and that rush you get. So I want to tell you something that I've recently fallen in love with. Don't tell my wife; she gets jealous. I bought a copy of a '53 Fender Telecaster
Oh.
with a humbucker, and my God, does this guitar sound good? I already love playing with my band and love playing my guitar. Now it's just incredible. So hey, I'm enjoying being alive. I'm enjoying playing my guitar. And I kind of love the people that are on this show.
Nope,
It's
not allowed
it's
to
just
talk about people.
well, you know what? In this case, I'll make an exception because I've had a lot of these people reach out to me offline, and I've reached back out to them, and they've all said the same thing. Feldman, you're mentally unstable, but we really enjoy Wednesday night. It's a highlight. And got to tell you the truth, that made me feel really good. It's just good to be able to find friends that you like and you care about. Um, we're in an unkind, foolish, unappreciative world, and I don't ever want to say that that I'm the kind of person that doesn't say, "Hey, I like every one of you. I enjoy being with you." So I'm allowed to break some rules. Rhonda, I am in the car business.
It's about thinking outside the box, Larry. You're that's not breaking rules. That's this creating a new pathway. That's
Yep.
what it's all about.
Well, anybody that knows me, Peter, knows forget about living out, thinking outside the box. I don't even see the damn box. I'm just tramping along. Peter, what is it that you love, my buddy?
Well, I again, it's going to be a little cliche here, but I love the car business. I couldn't care less how much money I made in it because it is just so damn fun to be in it. It's every single day is a new ball game. It is truly unique. You see new people every day, new experiences every day. Everything changes every single day. You never get bored from it. And all you do is gain knowledge and expand your circle of influence and your friendships. It's the best business in the world. I love it because it's taken me everywhere around the world. I've worked in 5 different countries. I've sold over 30,000 cars in my career. It's just a phenomenal business, and I truly love it. And we're there not as salespeople, but we're there to provide solutions to help people move about in this world. And it for me, that's it in a nutshell. I could say a million other things, but it's the car business. And as they say, once you're out, you're dying to get back in, and you end up back in. They pull you back in each and every time. I've been out 3 times, and I'm in my 4th rendition of this business. So I can't say enough about it. I love it.
Does everybody notice the contrast between me and Mr. Smith? He's a world traveler, and I announced proudly that I had pizza this week. It's all gradation. You know what? We always hear from Wendy because Wendy is Wendy. Hard to beat Wendy's enthusiasm and knowledge. But I had such a good time in Vegas. I actually dragged Fred up and had him talk on a podcast. Fred, what is it that you love, sir? Other than replicating Mr. Claus on the holiday season and hanging with Wendy.
I love talking to people. I enjoy people. My kids and grandkids, of course. And my baby granddaughter made her first snow angel in Central Park today.
Oh,
Up there vacationing. And just like a fluke, it snowed today. Most in 2 years I've got. But no, I enjoy people. I do. And
Rhonda, is it okay if
staring.
he talks? Is it okay if Fred talks about people?
I
You didn't
can't
let
stop.
me.
I can't stop you people. You just go for it.
Hey, Fred, it's so heartwarming to hear how much you love your kids and grandkids. Because my father put his arm around me once and looked me in the eye and said, "I love you. If I had two like you, I'd shoot both of you."
Yeah.
And he did have a gun.
Yeah.
It was a
I remember
cautionary
my
tale.
grandpa, he always used to tell me, "Get out of my way." The joke. But no, it's cool.
Cool.
Just gotta
All
love
right,
everybody.
who would like to go next and tell us? And
well-
if you can avoid people, that'd be great.
Okay, so I'm gonna refer this to the guy that always gets left last, Mr. Larkin. We're gonna put you up on the pedestal and let you go first, so you can't think for an hour.
No, wait a minute. One of the things I love is making Mike Larkin go last. Now you're eradicating one of. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
that's a staple to the show.
It's true. It's true.
Usually, we let him talk when the credits are rolling.
He's the
Well,
Brock Purdy of lethal sales. He's the last guy, but he's certainly not Mr. Irrelevant to us.
Thank you for equating me to the loser of the Super Bowl.
Wow.
Hey, my Eagles would have been glad to have been back in the Super Bowl to win or to lose. So I think
Yeah,
the guy's
we're-
done a hell of a job for himself.
We're a far cry from the Patriots days, so I'm crying in my beer in that respect. But I love sports. I've always loved sports, and my favorite sport is football. And I love it because of the teamwork. Everybody has a job to do, and I learned that lesson before Bill Belichick said, "Do your job." The drama of it, and I'm not talking about Taylor Swift in the suite. I'm talking about, it's fourth and forever, and it's the last play of the game if you don't convert. Those type of things, and they convert. Wow. That's what gets me pumped, is teamwork. And I bring that into my life and my profession. I only want to work with the best teammates, and everyone on this panel is my teammates. I love you guys. And everybody does something different. And if I can help in any way of putting, certain people with certain people, that's what I'm good at, so that's what it's teamwork, and I love, sports in general, but specifically, football.
Well, they always talk about blocking and tackling, how important it is. And old guys like me remember Vince Lombardi, who put Belichick and everybody else to shame because he took a team that was 1-10-1 and won 5 out of 6 championships, including the first 2 Super Bowls. Everybody knew he was going to run the Lombardi sweep, but everybody hit their block and there was nothing they could do to stop it.
Absolutely. And through the years, you've seen the progression, but it all boils down to Lombardi and what he did in the 60s and early 70s. and they always refer back to that. Where's Tony T in this panel? He's a big Green Bay fan because he's from Wisconsin. But
Wendy.
yeah, Wendy is I don't know if she's a football fan though. Are you? Oh yeah. So yeah, I mean, again, teamwork makes the dream work, you know.
I love it. Hey, we got our buddy Darren, who's become a regular and always a pleasant face. Darren, trying to avoid talking about your wife or what do you love? What, with Mike, it's sports. With me, it's being alive and being the nut that I am and my new guitar. What is it that you really love, Darren? What gets you excited? Is it an audio book? Is it something we haven't talked about? What is it?
Yeah, it's something we haven't talked about. As I changed my job here a couple of years ago and had more free time to read, discover, do different things, I started cycling and spent a lot of time on my bike cycling with a friend of mine. Didn't realize how healthy or how fit, how strong I was getting. And I had another friend who said, you should try running. I said, I don't want to run. Running doesn't make any sense to me. I can ride faster. Why do I want to run? So I went out and ran for the first time to humor him, say, hey, I tried it. It's not for me. Hey, good luck. Turns out I'm a runner. So then it turns out there's a community. So I won't talk about the people, but I keep getting drawn to community, right? And it's like the word that stands out to me is the word want. So on a Monday night, a Wednesday night, and a Saturday morning, it's the community's there. There's select people that show up in this little small town of mine. There's 20, 25 people, sometimes 12 people. But we go out and we run in the rain, we run in the snow, we run in inclement weather, and we all want to be there and we hold ourselves accountable. It's just like showing for this meeting. And, it's like the community is something that I've taken for granted for my entire life. So, running has been a great blessing in my life. I look for ways to find goodness and gratitude in my life. And running provides me with meditation. It provides me with clearing my head. It provides me with thinking. I can put my AirPods in. I can listen to a podcast. I can do all kinds of great things. When I come home, guess what? You feel good. You get a natural rush. You get that dopamine. You get the serotonin levels are up. You're the O1, the oxytocin. And, it's all because of community. And without the community, guess what? I probably wouldn't hold myself to those kind of standards. Like where was Darren, right? I didn't show up last week and I felt bad. I missed this meeting last week. And I was like, I feel like I've been here forever. I've shown up for 6, 7 of these meetings, maybe 5 or 6. And, I'm just grateful. So, running is is the thing that I love to do outside of the car business, but it has the same kind of thing. It has people, it has community and multiple benefits, right? It helps me in my job, helps me in everything.
You're going to be really sorry now that you missed last week's show because we all ran in place in front of the camera. Really, it was a group effort. Darren,
I like to
thank
do it
you.
outside. Outside's the way to do it.
Thank you so kindly. Hey, we got Kaylee. We love her when she shows up, and my boy Joshua. And here's Tom Kline. Kaylee, what is it other than those incredibly cute babies you have? What is it that you love?
Oh wow, that's a good question. I love a lot of things. Well, I guess in the work world or in professional world, I just love the community. I love all you guys and how we all get together and just support each other. It just makes you feel like family. So that's what I love most about the industry and what's going on in life. I don't know. I like sleep. I really like sleep because I don't get a lot of that right now. So that's what I love.
This, if we change the wording, this could be pretty shocking come from Kaylee, because it sounds like she wants to sleep with the community. I'm very stirred at you, Kaylee. This is a very faithful religious type of show.
Oh, you're funny.
Kaylee, we love you. And it was so nice seeing you in Vegas. Now, Tom Kline is next. Tom, you are not allowed to say you love octopuses. Okay, it's too obvious.
And
other than octopuses, what do you love, my good and great friend?
It's one thing, not 8.
I love it. Fuck the octopus. Other than my wife, which
well, unless no, Rhonda said no people. So unless your wife is a cyborg or artificial intelligence, you can't use her. Rhonda's being very strict, Mike.
boating.
Okay.
I love being on the water. I've owned 15 boats in my life. I'm boatless at the moment, which really sucks, but
Means you're earning money.
well, even as opposed to spending it on the boat, even if I had one, I don't have any. I'm traveling so much that that I wouldn't have time to use it. But I love sailing. I love power boating. I just love being on the water, and I'm fortunate.
It's a pretty peaceful feeling. I've spent a lot of time on boats myself. Boy, being out in the water, you talk about communing with nature and feeling a part of something. And I've slept on a boat a few times, and man, you talk about it being peaceful and quiet. That's really Tom. Thank you for sharing that, man.
Yeah.
My girl Martha popped up. Martha, other than a person, what is it that you love? We've already gotten boats and running and my guitar. What is it that you love? And by the way, Martha, boy, was it awesome to finally meet you in Las Vegas.
Thank you so much, Larry. It was really, I mean, a really good thing meeting a lot of you guys for the first time. Feels like family, right? When we see each other every week and we talk and
Martha, you're the fourth person that's spoken about family. None of you have met my brother-in-law. Could we please stop talking about family? Go ahead, Martha. I didn't mean to.
Okay, so what do I love more? It's just right here. Look. It's dogs. I think dogs are my passion. This one, I have to always put a chair next to me because he likes to pop into the Zoom meeting. Say hi, Luca. Say hi, everyone. Say my name is Luca.
He's so cute.
So yeah, dogs. I think dogs are like animals. I think in general, animals. That's my passion. That's what I love. After humans, some humans.
They're better, Martha. They're better than humans because if you're nice to pets, they're nice back to you. You can be real nice to humans and they still bite you.
Yes, that's very true. So yes, I have always I have had all sort of pets, all sort of animals since I was a little kid. So, one day I think, I may have a big farm and an ark like Noah.
Do you have any water near your house? Because Tom Kline is opening an octopus shop. So if you need an octopus, Tom can get you a hell of a discount on one.
Absolutely.
Well, I'm in California. There is not much water around here anymore.
Well, they have to dam it up to save these little small fish so everybody else can go broke. It's an interesting state. I think you have to be high to live in that state, Martha, other than you, of course, and the dog.
Oh, God. California has a beautiful weather, but God, it's getting harder and harder to live here.
Yeah.
Yep. Yes, sir. Joshua, man, was it great to finally shake your hand. Go ahead, you guys talk. It's my lovely wife. You can do it.
There you go.
Okay.
Oh my God.
If we're talking about love that isn't people, so I have to ignore what I'm doing for these people. I would say my motorcycle. First time I finally got motorcycle after 39 years of, well, I'm 40 now, but obviously I've been wanting one for 39, but I digress. I got almost 1,000 kilometers on my little 765R, and I can't wait to put another 10,000 or more this coming summer. I'm hoping to set up a whole bunch of road trips if I possibly can. I got to get bags for it. I got to get a whole bunch of shit so that I can travel with it, but I absolutely love it. There is the only thing that is remotely similar in sensation, I would go right with Tom Kline as being out on the water on a boat, like standing up in the middle of the bay, wide open throttle, and there's not a soul around on the water. It's about the same sensation when you're on the bike because there's so much noise. It's so visceral. It's almost euphoric, that just the state you get into. Like it's just, I can't describe it. I don't know even how all the words to just adequately describe it.
Beautiful. Exactly what we were looking for, my brother. We got Jeff Scherer here. Jeff's going to be tempted to talk about family because he's so close with his wife and his son, Derek. But excluding those two, Jeff, what is it that you love?
So I just posted a picture in the chat for Martha of what I want to see when I wake up in heaven. I don't know if you can see that. I love dogs too. Dogs are the best example of unconditional love that there is. For me, I think my passion, and everybody that knows me here would say technology, and that certainly is, but really before that, it's learning stuff today, learning about everybody's business. Tom Kline took me to school, when he first got rolling. You know, I learned stuff from him. Peter teaches me stuff every day. You know, I've learned a lot from a lot of people in here, Mr. Larkin, you know, and just I take a different approach with my clients because I don't want to just, you know, plug them in and start them running on a platform tomorrow. I want to learn about your business, you know, and here's how we can build from the bottom up to make it fit. You know, and I really have a passion for business, man. Shark Tank is my Dragon's Den for the Canadian folks. Shark Tank is my favorite show. I probably watched every episode 3 times. And there's just, you know, that is really my passion since I couldn't say family. So.
Okay, I liked it. Man, we're getting some good answers tonight. Don Graff. Don, what is it that motivates you? What do you love? Where do you find your passion for and through?
I think Don stepped away.
Here I am.
Oh, here he is.
Yeah.
H.G. Wells would approve. Apparently, Don likes being invisible. But if you can reappear, Don, we'd love to hear what it is that you love and enjoy, my buddy.
Let me get the camera down.
There we go. You handsome devil, you. Okay.
We've missed you, Don.
We are.
Uh-huh.
My setter, Percy. I've had five of these dogs. We show them.
Were you in Philadelphia recently?
No, we didn't go to that. He's been to that show. He won his breed at that show a couple times, a couple years ago. One of our dogs went to Westminster 3 times.
I did.
We always say he won because of the judges.
No, she's making us food. We got
Nate, you're not.
super sandwiches.
We losing contact?
No, Nathan.
No.
Nathan's unmuted. Hey, Nathan, we'll jump back to Don, who's hugging his dog. The purpose of this program is. That's all right. I'll unmute him. The purpose of this program is to talk about something you love. It doesn't have to be a person. It can be an object. It can be an activity. We've heard running. We've heard motorcycling. We've heard boating. What turns you on, Nathan? What do you love other than a person?
Nope, lost him.
We lost him.
That stuff happens.
Okay, so we'll go to Russell, and then I'm going to change it up on the fly.
All right, don't forget about Wendy. She gets mad when Fred gets to talk.
What are you going to change it up to? I might like the new topic better.
Yeah. You gotta wait.
Nathan is back.
Okay.
Nathan,
sorry about that, guys. I'm driving. I hit the wrong button.
No problem at all. Nathan, tell us something that you love other than a person. Something, a passion, a hobby, something.
Yeah, I would say I love soccer, and even more so, I love coaching soccer. I actually just finished my son's practice right now, and it's just so enjoyable to see him love something that I enjoyed so much as a kid. I played semi-professionally later in life, but just to see the pure joy of children playing and help them learn how to play, I think is just such a fun and then it's just a great thing.
Nathan, how can it be later in life when you're only 22 now?
Hey, Nathan, to build on what you're saying, even though soccer was never my favorite sport, I had the pleasure later in life of watching who I still argue is the greatest soccer player ever, Pelé. And the thing that was instrumental about him, not only inventing the bicycle kick, but how joyful he looked. A lot of times when you watch athletes today, they're so grumpy and miserable. The whole world's against me, blah, 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 blah. Man, there was a guy that just played with unbridled joy all the time.
Yes, I totally agree. I think he's such a wonderful example. We used to, when I was younger, my father used to coach me, and I went to a Catholic school, and we had pregame prayers, and he would always ask parents of Pele to pray for us.
Yeah.
But yes, that's I'm a big fan. I definitely agree with guys. His just charisma and his attitude on the field was unlike anyone really since.
Yeah, well, all I ever heard about was Messi and Ronaldo, and until Messi won a World Cup, between them they had 0 and he had 3. And I know the third one he wasn't as instrumental in, but the guys like Will Chamberlain, he changed the game.
Yeah, definitely.
So are you excited about the World Cup,
Agreed.
Nick?
Yeah, 3 World Cups for Pele.
Yeah, I think 3.
So
Cool.
let's go to Russell, and then we'll go to Wendy, and then I'm gonna switch it up.
So, I love competing against myself. I love networking. I love people. I love this business with a passion. I'm an overcomer. All my life, people said, Russell, you can't do that. I tried that. That won't work. And they got interrupted by somebody who just did. That's what I like doing. But my one passion above what I just said now is I just got a text from somebody that just celebrated a milestone of 6 years being clean and sober. And that's where my passion really is working with people with drug and alcohol addiction.
Congrats.
Yep. Yeah, it's not an easy thing. Most people don't get it. I don't think most people really even understand that had the, degree of, drug addiction and alcoholism that I did. 85% of the people in the last 29 years of my life being clean and sober, don't get it. They keep going back out over and over and over again. They're just not willing to do what it takes to come out on the other side. And so I celebrate people in recovery today.
Great.
Amen to that.
Yeah. Wendy, that's a hard one to follow.
You really need to call on me. I mean, you know what my answer is.
You love Fred.
Don't mention me.
Side of AI. Come on, guys. I love the AI frontier. I love the excitement that I feel when I learn something new about it, or when I hear a perspective different than my own, which opens up the possibilities and the vision even more. I love the promise of what can be for our industry when we all work together toward bridging the divide between the tech and the customer ultimately, and every aspect there in between. And I had another conversation with somebody today that gave me a completely different perspective. Here I keep pushing, we need the people, we need to think ahead, we need the people to get the pass. No, but what happened to helping our dealers to set up their infrastructure and their everything before they adopt the AI or during the launch, so that when they do have a 5% increase in appointments showing up, they have the techs and they have the stalls and they have the parts and they have the this and that and the other and the other and the other. It was a brand new perspective, and it opened up a whole new world for me. So I really love the human side of AI, guys, and everything it encompasses. And then I also love road trips, hint, hint, road trips. On a razor, in an RV, in an airplane, in a car, just new people, new places, new surroundings, new
Over
everything.
here.
Yeah,
Took you on a
right.
road trip here a couple years ago.
That's the road less traveled.
Yeah,
You may know where that's at.
that's the Valley of the Gods, isn't it?
It's Monument
Hint, hint,
Valley.
run,
It's where Forrest Grump, what's the name? Forrest
Gump.
Gump stopped his cross country race right there. There's a sign over on the left side saying Forrest Gump stopped his race right here. Got some tennis shoes thrown over the sign, Kind of cool.
Awesome. Okay, so I'm going to change it up. And we've talked about what we love outside of the people in our lives. Now, the next question is, what would we love to change? There's the new question.
Well, you know what,
I'll go
Peter,
first.
you're all smiles on that one. So why don't you go first and set the stage for us, brother?
Again, I'm going to go back to the car business. And
No, you can't do that.
Why not?
No.
I want to change it. And that's why I'm doing what I'm doing. But realistically, I'd love to change people's perspectives of each other. Changing that inner belief that one is a better person than another. I can't stand that about people, that they think that they're elitists because they've accomplished something different than someone else. It's not a reasonable expectation to have. You have to look at every single person in life that you encounter as equal to yourself. You are not better than them. You have the same, you're built the same way. You still have a heart and a brain. You still do the same things. You still breathe and get up every morning to move about. You talk and you converse. You are the same inherent person as everyone else, just different. That's it. You are all created equal. And that's something that I'd love to change. I'd love to get out of this elitism that we have and this influence.
I want to say something about that, Peter. I commend you on that, but that's an illusion. Not going to happen.
Nope.
Yeah, I mean, I like it, but it all does is set up frustration, anxiety, resentment, because really just we can't change anybody. Now, what we can do, and what I've realized in my life, particularly in dealing with the close relationships I have, when I did want somebody to make some change, well, if you just do this or you just do that, and I found that when I actually pivoted and made the change, it appeared that the other person actually did, and that wasn't the case at all. So I know you understand that, but I get I get it. I mean, it's out there everywhere, and I have to love people where they're at and say adios, see you later.
Exactly. And I agree with you 100%, Russell. But we can all have a dream in life of doing something that will drive us. It doesn't mean it's our goal. It just means it's our dream. And they're two separate things. I'd love to see it change. I know it will never change in my lifetime. It will never change in a lifetime of lifetimes. But it's a dream that people will start looking at people as equals. And that's it. So, having said that, and the big heavy, look at Larry. Larry's all perplexed. I think I've possibly caused him to freeze.
Well, no, I would take it to a slightly different variation on that. If I could change things about people, I would wish for people to be a little bit more sincere, because the rampant insincerity I see everywhere around me, people that don't do what they say they're going to do and aren't committed to things and don't throw their heart into something and don't realize that we're just here for a short visit, and to not put your heart and soul into what you're doing cheats you, it cheats your family, it cheats everybody. But it might be a little bit of a pipe dream, but I know whatever else I do, right or wrong, I try to be sincere and represent who I am and what I am, not be phony about it. And I don't think that's a plus or a minus. It's just who the heck I am. I'm probably too honest when I'm good, but a little more sincerity wouldn't hurt the world.
Yeah, I mean, that's who you are. And I love you and commend you for it. Yeah.
One of the most
stand-up
guys
right now.
Yeah.
Listen, I had a great conversation this week with somebody on a Zoom call that I wanted to meet for a long time, and we got talking about a couple of words about kindness and nice, and that kind of plays into what everybody's kind of talking about here right now. And like, you can be nice to somebody, you can be kind to somebody, and I always say kindness is not a weakness. That was something I always kind of believed in. But when you really look at the word kind, like, you can be nice to somebody, you can be courteous, you can smile, you can be pleasant. But when you're kind to somebody, when you want to make that change for whether it's yourself or for others, you being kind and saying, you know what, I'm going to take the time to spend time with this person. I'm going to take time to be very intentional about my behaviors, intentional about the things I'm doing. When someone says, oh, what a nice person, or, oh, I was nice to him. that was actually kind of doing that person a disfavor. Why don't you change nice and start being kind to people? You know, like we want to change the world, we want to change people, and it starts with us, and we have to lead. Like that's that word, inspire. And yeah, I got all jacked up this week on a couple Zoom calls and beating our heads with a couple authors, and I was like, it was really neat. So I don't know if you guys have thought about that before, and those two words, nice and kind, and how they play off each other, and the word change.
Well, Darren, what's so interesting is it doesn't really cost you anything to be nice, but it costs you a fortune to be a creep. Because once you turn people off, once you change that impression or that initial impression, man, it's really hard to get back. I just don't think it hurts you to be nice to people, to respond. You know, I swear I didn't plan on talking about this, guys, but a guy called me today to put an ad in. Now he's doing me a favor, right? He says, "Can I tell you something?" I was like, "Sure." He says, "I love the fact that you answer the phone." He says, "Whenever I call you, you answer." He says, "Nobody answers." I said, "Well, I don't know if you want to give me a reward for that. I just think that I'm anxious to talk to people. I'm anxious to do business. And man, when the phone rings, you know, again, if there's anybody on this line young, you may not remember this, but when I was a kid, when the phone rang, everybody in the house was excited because somebody was calling. So, you know, I always talk about the inner child, and you can see that everybody on this program, their inner child is still running wild. Tom got so excited when he talked about the boat, Joshua with the motorcycle, Darren with running. And again, that dovetails into the sincerity piece of this. Because when you're not happy, when you don't get up in the morning, when Thoreau described you last century as most men lead lives of quiet desperation, it's so much fun to be involved and to feel like you're a part of something. Nobody wants to feel like they're on the sidelines. My man Mike Larkin talked about football. Everybody wants to be part of a team. Everybody. And when you can forge people into feeling like a part of a team, I saw that at the Golden Wrench Awards. I saw that when me and Peter were hanging around with different people. Me and Wendy and Fred, every time we go to these damn things, we go out and do dinner. All of a sudden, it's forged together. We all want to feel a part of it. So I think you can see the common thread running through this is we have people that care enough and risk enough to love things. Because it's so easy to hang back and be ambivalent. You know, I hate when people say it is what it is or whatever. How about making it what it should be?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm gonna put it through now. I'm gonna give it back to Kaylee and see what Kaylee talks about, what she'd like to change.
Oh, well, I had some thoughts while everyone was talking that I wanted to add, and now that you called on me, it's like getting called on in class, like in school, everything's done.
Yeah.
Kaylee, I don't believe that because I saw you speak in Vegas, and with all your talk of being shy, you killed it. Yeah. So come on, girl, spit something out, whatever it is, it's going to be good because it's coming from you.
I'm trying to think. So change. Okay. So going back a few years, I feel like we slowed down during COVID, and I don't want to go back into that place because it was a really hard time for a lot of people. But I think we got in this mindset of slowing down and just like kind of just going back to like our roots for some reason, or just, so I feel like now that we're out of that, it's really fast and everyone's going. And that kind of goes back to like the kindness and taking the time and being intentional, and just slowing down and being more thoughtful on our interactions. And just, so I think I don't know if that's a thing to change, but I think something to be mindful of because it's something that I'm working on as I'm busy, and I'm just like, okay, slow down. I need to back it up.
Kaylee, are you a basketball fan at all?
No, I'm not really a sports fan. I was like, I was the one that was like, go Taylor.
Well, let me throw this at you. You're way too young to know who this guy is. There was a guy that conquered college basketball named John Wooden, and he had a great expression. He said, "Go fast, but don't hurry." In other words, be expedient, but don't blow through the moment.
Mm-hmm. So that's exactly what I'm saying. Thank you.
Well,
Who needs John Wooden? We got Kaylee Felio, and she's got her baby with her. I'm living large tonight.
Kaylee is a big off-road fan, if I remember correctly. She loves going
Yes,
off-road. So
I do.
Land Rover has a similar quote to that, Larry. Go as fast as possible, but as slow as necessary.
All right, I'm going to
Mhm.
trump both of you. The right quote is the magnet that's on my refrigerator, Mr. Kline. It's from Mario Andretti. It says, if you're in full control, you're not going fast
There's some truth to that.
Okay, so
Mhm.
that makes sense because I don't feel like I'm in control right now, so that's a good thing.
enough. You should never feel it. Listen, if you're in full control and everything's on autopilot, now you're born. You should
Yeah.
always have a little bit of, am I doing it right? Should I change it? It's that's what pushes us along and helps
Yeah.
us break barriers and change perceptions. Because nothing's more boring than you get up, you know exactly what's going to happen, when it's going to happen, how. That's what Peter started off saying. That's what the fun of the car business is. It's always something different every day.
It is.
All right. So having said that, and Josh is sitting there looking up on Google what to say, I'm gonna call on him and see what he has to say.
There's no Google searching, and I have too many things I can't really pick, so it's a struggle. The last couple of days I've had some rather difficult conversations with some technicians. I've had conversation with some leaders that didn't go my way. I've had conversations with leaders that have gone my way. I want to be able to change the narrative. I think it feels really good every once in a while when I get those messages like, hey, I really appreciate everything you're doing for technicians. I really appreciate everything you're doing in the industry. That really helps fuel the fire and you know, helps me get through all of the late nights making content and recording, so on and so forth. But when I can actually start seeing other people change and saying, I did something different because of what you said, and it's made my life for the better. It's no longer just a thank you. It's now I've put something that you taught me into process and it's made my life better. I don't want to change that. I just want to do more of that. So I think that's my quasi change, as it were.
Great. Great. So having said that, what's Tuck have to say? Does Tuck have eight different things he wants to change?
Well, when you threw that out, the first thing that came into my mind was boneheadedness. Don't be a bonehead.
Yeah.
And there are I mean, I've got thousands of examples, but I'll just use the example from this afternoon. I went to Walgreens to pick up some drugs for my wife, and they said it's ADHD med. So they said, well, it's a controlled substance and we haven't filled the prescription yet. I said, okay, I'll wait. And they said, well, we don't have enough. And I said, okay, when will you have enough? And they said, well, we're not sure. There's a nationwide shortage. And I said, I understand. Why don't you just put me on the waiting list and you can call me when you can fill it? Well, it doesn't work that way, they said. I said, oh, well, how does it work? They said, well, you need to call every day and find out if we have enough. And then if we have enough that day, we can fill your prescription. And I said, look at Peter's face. I said, well, wait a second. I said, so you want me to call every day? And they said, yes, we want you to call every day. I said, well, what time do your deliveries get here? And they said 10 o'clock. I said, and so what time is your system update? And they said 12 o'clock. I said, well, that's not very customer service friendly. And the lady looked at me and I said one other thing. And I said, well, don't you have a waiting list or something? I mean, like a piece of paper or something? And she pointed to the screen and I said, my name's not Russell. And she said, I know, that's for the next customer.
You not only found, you went in to get ADHD drugs from somebody that actually has ADHD and is rude on top of it.
I mean,
that's like,
that's
like
what I just
double
call
whammy.
That's what I just call a bonehead. That's somebody, I mean,
That sounds like the CVS down the street from me.
it's every drugstore. They all suck, unless you have a neighborhood drugstore. But, you know, I think that if we could eliminate boneheadedness, we could get more things done in Washington. I think people would listen to each other again.
Well, wait a minute. I got to take a strong disagreement and speak up for my people on the show, because most of us are vendors. If we got rid of boneheadedness, we'd all be out of business. Because if these dealers weren't so damn backwards, they wouldn't need any of us. Josh, am I right? If they took care of the techs and rewarded them properly and schooled them, they wouldn't need them. If they looked at their own damn websites, they wouldn't need a Jeff Scherer, right? So let's celebrate their incompetence. It's making us all rich, you know?
Yeah. Hey, Tom, just so you know, that medication it's been on national back order for months and months and months now.
Yeah, and I don't care about that. I mean, it's just
Your wife might.
It was the attitude, it was the
Sure.
the lack of you know, it was just
Yeah.
and that's
I get
that's
it.
but
Incompetency.
but there's so many instances that we all deal with in our daily life that you just if you didn't have to do this every day, it would make our lives more pleasant. And so that's, I guess, why, you know, whatever the game is where you say, what's the first thing that comes to your mind? That was the first thing that came to my mind.
Can I make a suggestion? If you're really hurting for it, have your wife call me, and after she talks to me, she won't feel like she's ADHD anymore. She'll feel like
I
she's
agree.
normally focused compared to me.
I'd like to tag on Tom if I could, please. I would like to see everybody, like people, just go the extra mile. You know, there's simple things. When you're in a high-end restaurant and you say, hey, where are the washrooms? They don't go like this. They walk you over there, right? And it's the same thing. And listening to thousands and hundreds of thousands and millions of calls from tire dealers, it's like they're in a race to get off the phone. You know, even if I can't take you in today because my book is full, my bays are all covered up for the rest of the day for service, what could you do? Offer them something. You know, don't just say, sorry, goodbye, you click, you know, and every business could do that, could do better. And perfect example, Tom, you know, sir, let me just take your name down. You know, I mean, something as simple as that.
Even if they weren't going to call me, even if they were just pretending.
Even if they weren't going to call you, I was just going to say that. At least they made the effort, you know.
Listen, I have this list over here. I have a priority list for tomorrow. Would you like to be on that one?
Yeah.
Right
on the top. I call you after noon. These are all the people I call at 1 o'clock. I'll put you on the 2 o'clock list. You'll be first. How about that one?
Hey, guys, if we're talking about change, and I don't want to sound like a smart aleck here, how about if we bought everybody a pen and a piece of paper so that maybe they could write stuff down and actually be able to focus on what's important to them? Because it seems like everybody is so lost in their screens and their 9,000 messages that they lose sight of what's right in front of them.
I am a pedal to the metal guy, you know, and I always want to be moving forward, but there's times I got to throttle myself back to listen to what Wendy's telling me and what she's trying to explain to me. And I don't really understand. And I'm not over here, you know, doing my phone. I want to give full attention, right? Put your damn phone down when you're talking to somebody at the dealership.
All right. So on that note, the two ladies, Wendy and Martha, what would you change? You guys pick which one wants to go first on this.
You go ahead, Martha.
Okay, what I would like to change, there's a few things, but I think taking on the whole conversation and what Joshua was saying, I really, when it comes to our industry, I think will like management to start realizing that we need to be more leaders than managers. Okay. And I think that is a new tendency in our industry to try to do that from a lot of us. But this is going directly to make sure that there is a lot of more of mental health awareness. you know, and how the pressure of, you know, the day-to-day operations of our business sometimes can impact. And I'm not saying this to excuse someone's lack of performance or to, you know, but also to understand that, like Joshua was saying, you know, the feeling that you have when you are able to share to your team something and they coming back to you and they say, hey, you know what, thank you, because that what you showed me of what you told me is helping me do better, right? But that impact is not just on what they do in their performance of their job. Sometimes we have a big impact on their life. So understanding that everybody that works with us or for us or under us, you know, in our departments, what we can share and what we can bring into them can help them be a better human, okay, a better employee, a better performer, and it help them out through that, you know, situation that they be going through. You never know when someone is feeling defeated, invaluable, and appreciated, right? And what our words as their managers, their leaders can have, the impact of what they can take home that evening or that day. So changing the narrative, like I like telling my teams that I believe so much in their talent and their skills, but they need to believe themselves also, right? And helping them grow. So I think if more of us gets that type of mentality, our industry is definitely going to change, and we will be able to provide a way better service to our customers as well, because we will be more mindful about what they're going through, okay, and how is their day projecting, because we don't understand when a customer shows up to our driveway, you know, the frustration that they're going through, or when a customer shows out to try to buy a car. Yesterday, a customer broke my heart. It really did broke my heart, because it was a person on retirement, only making like $1,000 a month, needing a car, really low credit score, like on the 500s, no down payment. And I feel so bad about not being able to help him, because I know that he needs a way of transportation, right? But anyway, showing that empathy, I think if we show it to everybody else and we continue to bring awareness of their mental health, okay, it's going to help us, you know, a little bit, you know, in our industry. That's what I would like to change.
Well, but you're so right, because think of it. Everybody on this program has been nice to somebody, and they lit up because they were having a bad day, and the only nice thing that happened to them was you and what you said to them. And any manager or any leader that doesn't understand that you're going to get more with a kind word, it can be firm, but still kind. You know, it's just as easy to say, come on, Martha, you're terrific. I know you can do better than that, rather than saying, do you ever do anything right? Our tone and our approach is, you're 100% correct. Wend?
So Martha, you gave me a brilliant business idea. We need a BDC helpline. We need a BDC. Well, I forgot the name of it already, but yeah, man, you guys, BDC people get dumped on like nobody's business. And I have so many of the BDMs and the agents and everybody coming back to me. They want to leave their dealerships because of toxic environments. Almost to the same extent, I did 3 on-sites, 3 discoveries in 60 days, the last quarter of 2023. And all 3 of them had broken relationships between the BDM and the GM. And day one, the BDM was in tears. So I think that is something, Martha, well said. I think all of you have made incredible observations and things that you would change. I think that, and Peter kind of took my answer, and I think if we could change people's mindsets or let them consider the mindsets of others. That's why I said Wayne Dyer's, if you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. We have so many I mean, forget about what Kaylee said, which is also very true about post-COVID situations, where we went from not being able to be in the same room with a lot of these people to being in the same room via Clubhouse and this and that and the other, having a seat at all these various tables, quote unquote, and then seeing one another in other surroundings. But we're still not looking at one another as we look at we don't treat one another as we would want someone to treat a family member. We don't consider their mindset. We don't consider what they're going through. Like my favorite thing, and people used to come to me, and I just did it because it's me, guys. And every day it wasn't, maybe it wasn't Good Morning Beautiful People. It probably was all through COVID. And I've had people say, you know what, I look for your post every day. And we're not in the same boat, but we all are in the same storm, the storm of life. And that's why they call it life, because it's a storm. You know, and we have to weather it together. And if I could change anything, I think it would be oh golly, I can't articulate it well, Larry, but I mean just the way we see one another, the way we
The
see one,
line,
the way some of us
the
think
line
we're
you're looking
better.
for, when the line you're looking for is there, but for the grace of God, go you or I. When we start understanding that what people are going through is what we're going through, or what we could be going through, gives us that little piece of empathy. Because without empathy, what the hell do you have? What the hell do you have?
You said it though.
Jeff, it sounds
More
like I'm making
grace.
this up. It sounds like I'm making this up. I had a guy that used to always call our bad credit customers rats and roaches. And I hated it because we had some really nice customers. We were just in a kind of a poor area. And I pulled him aside one day and said, man, don't make me punch you in the mouth. You're bigger than me. You might be able to beat me up, but I'm really tired. And he said, well, their credit's terrible. I said, well, how's your credit? He said, well, my credit's bad, but I went through a divorce. This is how blind this guy was. He was willing to look at everybody else, right? I'm sorry to be so biblical today. It's the thing back to Jesus. You got to take the plank out of your eye before you take the speck out of your neighbor's eye, and judge not lest you be judged. When we're more tolerant, when we're more open-minded, life gets easy. And you know what? I won't say who it was. I was on the phone with somebody last night. Now, believe it or not, they look to me for counsel. I guess I'm the only person left since Idi Amin's dead that's this unreasonable. Okay. They wanted to get angry. And I said, don't get angry. And they said, why not? I says, no, it takes too much energy to be angry.
That is true.
Don't let them affect you that much. Just realize what dopes they are. Let it roll over your head. So again, if we just are a little smarter about the fact that we're going to be dead one day, and while we're alive, we need to maximize each day and each minute and the efforts we put into things, it just makes more sense. And again, it's another reason why, sorry, Rhonda, we love all the people in this program, because everybody's reasonable and everybody comes on to have fun, to be light, not to pontificate or, talk about how terrible things are. Hey, even the people that are a little cynical, okay, Wendy from getting beat up so much, and Peter, what are they saying? Their first thought is not to be mad, but to wonder and ponder what would happen if things change. This is the time Russell should be playing Imagine by John Lennon in the background. Be the perfect background music.
The problem is these sales managers, general managers want to make everything transactional. Everything should be relationship built. And that's what Wendy's trying to do. And that's what BDC people are centered on. They're building a relationship, bring people into the dealership.
So
I agree.
Managers don't understand that. It's numbers to them. This is a number. We need 20 people in. We need 30 people in. It's not Bob. It's not John. It's not Bob. It's not Gary who has a 700 score, or Dick and his wife. Between them, they have a 300 score, but they have $10,000 down and an old Dodge. It's a story of people. That's how you got deals bought. I have that situation in the Chrysler stores that I'm working with. Everything's transactional. If they work on it relationship wise, they bring 500 people in the store and they're writing 200 deals. There's 100 deals that should have been written. They're not being written because they're transactional. They're not looking between the pages. They're not doing a proper TO. They're not going back more than once. They're sending a salesperson back without a sales manager. No, they're not doing everything they can be doing. They're not doing one-on-ones right. Everything starts to fall apart.
So the reason why I wanted to engage with the second part of this question was I wanted to see how everyone thought, and right all the way up to Martha, no one mentioned car business. Everyone was talking about change in life. And I was going to end it with, if we do all that in the car business, and we look at that in the car business as what we wish to change in life, and actually focus that on how we interact with everyone we interact with in the car business, this business will change for the better, and it will change faster than ever could be imagined, because that's a passion that we all have. And if we can show that passion through to our customers, and they will see it and they will convert with us. And that is the reasoning for the second part of the question.
Can I tell one humorous thing before we go?
Sure,
Absolutely.
go right ahead.
I had a reason to look up BDC conferences, and I just wanted to let everybody know that the Bleeding Disorder Conference is the annual conference is in Atlanta, in case anybody wanted to know. So there you go.
Thanks,
Really?
Tom.
Thank you for sharing that.
Absolutely. Tuck the octopus, ADHD. Tom, I'm starting to really wonder about you, but it's not often I get to have people on a show and I'm the normal one. So God bless you.
Absolutely.
All
Well,
right, guys, ladies, as usual, we can't thank you enough for being on. We appreciate and enjoy your commentary. We just appreciate and enjoy you guys. Boy, what a cute baby, Kaylee. That's a cutie.
Oh, we're looking at the baby.
He's not very happy right now.
Oh,
There he is.
baby.
There, now I'm standing. So he's happy.
there you go.
There's the baby.
It's so squishy.
Kaylee, that's exactly how Peter Smith looked in Vegas when he found out the buffet was closed. Very sad.
Come here.
Everyone,
Yeah.
Valentine's Day, everybody.
Happy Valentine's
Everybody
Day.
stay healthy. We'll see you
Take
soon.
care.
See you
take
next
care.
week.
Thank
Happy
you, everyone.
Valentine's Day.
Bye-bye.
Night.